Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Thank you for taking time to look at my presentation. Put a bit of time into this, so I appreciate the next 10 or so minutes of your life. I'm going to talk to you a bit about about second language learners and giftedness and some research that I've been doing. So, who are the ELL students in Visalia Unified? That's about the closest I could get data-wise from the sources I was able to access. In Visalia Unified, roughly 30% of the kids are English language learners, and about 15% of them are reclassified as fluent. This data is from ed.gov. It's a federal source for data on schools. The language communities in Visalia Unified are diverse, but the majority of them come from Spanish-speaking families. The research I've been doing shows that ELLs are stereotyped, and that can make referral to gifted programs difficult. They're kind of seen as English learners first, and then that kind of masks the giftedness. Students will also meet the expectations that are set for them, and many ELLs aren't expected to be gifted, so they don't show it. And oftentimes teachers don't understand giftedness or look for the kinds of characteristics that gifted English language learners might show. I've got a handout here for this presentation that talks about some of the characteristics of gifted English learners. And they are interested in learning. They're focused on certain topics, like they'll nerd out on rockets or horses or whatever. They're quick to grasp new information. They can improvise. They're curious. They're persistent. Often they show leadership. They're imaginative. They read in their first language at a higher level, 2 or more grades. Sometimes they're proud of their cultural background. They're culturally flexible. And oftentimes second language learners excel in math because that's a sort of universal language. Minority students often have learning styles that are similar to those of underachievers. They tend to work in the concrete or holistic. They're field dependent. They might be math, and not everything. And they're often self-oriented. And so sometimes minority students who are gifted will look like underachievers. Some statistical data on gifted ELLs. I tried to stay out of the weeds. You can really abuse people with statistics, but at Redwood, 4% of our kids are LEP in 2015. It was hard to find statistics on giftedness in Visalia Unified because Visalia Unified does not test for giftedness. They don't identify it. They don't mark it. Statewide in California, only 2% of our ELLs are enrolled in gifted programs, but that might be skewed because if more districts are like Visalia Unified, they don't even track giftedness. They just track the English learner part. But in places that do track, only 2% of the ELLs are enrolled in gifted programs, and students not marked as ELL, 7% are in gifted programs. And in California, approximately 10% of our learners are identified as gifted, and those are the fluent guys. And only about 1.5% of the learners who are ELL are identified. Gifted ELLs are underserved in our area. Research says that even when an ELL student is identified as gifted, The impulse is often to keep them out of accelerated programs, despite evidence that they would benefit from more challenging work. Districts tend to address the language learning part first, and just think of the student through that lens, and don't think of them as a multidimensional human being, which is horribly unfortunate, because that's just sad that students aren't exposed to rigorous environments that would benefit their giftedness. The way our English learners are underserved in Visalia Unified is we don't even test for it. We have no markers, no identification. It was something that was done in the past, but it's been done away with. And we have systematic ignorance, I guess is the best word. Teachers aren't trained to look for giftedness. No time is set aside for that. We spend a lot of time talking about English learners. We spend a lot of time talking about accommodations for special needs students. But we don't devote much time or training to giftedness in our district, if any, really. Here are some recommendations after my research that I think would help us better serve ELLs. I think we should have a gifted PLC at Redwood. They can look at ways to help teachers learn about accommodations they can make to help not only ELLs, but all students show their giftedness. My research has shown that if teachers can identify gifted ELLs and get them into programs, then one of the things that we could do system-wide for our gifted English language learners is help them with something called CALA, or the Cognitive Academic Language Learning Approach. I'll explain it here. It focuses on the functions of language. So we can, in language arts, help facilitate content area learning by giving them transferable strategies and help them practice academic language and show how it functions. For example, we could teach English language learners about words like classify, explain, just be explicit, inform, describe, and teach them how they function in academic pursuits. And that will help them not only develop English language, but also tackle more rigorous learning environments. It's been shown that a concept-driven curriculum that's focused on big ideas and lots of discussion are good for ELLs. It's good to mix up. My research has shown that it's good to mix up the groupings. So, work as a whole group at the beginning and the end of a unit, and break into different grouping scenarios during the study of a unit, pairing, small group discussion, different language rich groupings to help kids study concept at a deeper level, and that helps their language development. I like this quote: second language acquisition approaches and curricular approaches for gifted youth tend to complement each other and provide a unique channel to learning. So the same approaches that teachers who work with gifted students can take benefit English learners, gifted English learners. When we see a kid solely as an English language learner, we do well to provide them with accommodations for that challenge of being a language learner. But we might miss other aspects of a kid's needs. Taking a broader look at our students may allow us to see their gifts, and once we unmask those gifts, we can see the desire in their hearts and allow them the opportunity to show us how they are smart. One big shift in my thinking, not just recently, but over maybe the last year, is moving away from this approach to working with kids that show me how smart you are, show me how smart you are. Give me the answers, to show me how you are smart. Put this answer in a mode or a delivery method that plays to your gifts. So if you are smart musically, answer the question through that lens. Or if you're smart mathematically, or you're smart in your leadership skills or whatever, show me how you are smart. These are some conclusions based on the research I've done over the course of the last 2 months. The masks created by a disability or English learner challenges can hide a gifted student, and we need to see them. So if we could use different ways to see and measure giftedness, classroom teachers and school districts could provide more equity to our gifted kids. And our classroom should serve as a bridge for students rather than an impediment. So gifted ELLs can handle the concepts, they can dig deep, they can think about things, but their language competency can be an impediment. And unfortunately, it masks what a student is capable of. And it sounds like an old story, but teacher training and just the promotion of awareness could help teachers better serve the often overlooked and underserved ELL gifted population. They're out there. Just because you speak a language other than English doesn't mean you don't have gifts. And I think we'd do well to put together a PLC or a study team or a group of committed individuals who wanted to look at ways to enrich learning, not just for our ELLs, but all of our gifted students. There's a bit of a survey that I'm going to send out or link to in this video when I send it out to y'all. And if you could rate my performance and my research and give me some feedback, I'd love it. This is part of a project for a master's class, but it's also something that I care deeply about. We often say, we need to help those kids maybe that are struggling at the bottom, and we kind of take the attitude that the smart ones will figure it out. And I think if the adults in the room spent some time and energy, and the district spent some time and energy on our gifted kids, we'd see some neat stuff happen there too. Thanks for your time.